That's all.
Yes,
We
just
won't ask
follow
you
the
to.
moderators,
We won't
please.
ask you to stand on your head or anything.
I think I can handle that.
Okay.
Let me get a couple more sips.
Okay, just so everybody knows, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the website. If you have any technical issues, you can message me, email me, and I'll help out however.
Can you put the Facebook link in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. Just 1 second.
All right.
Well, Iris?
Ready to go?
I am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All righty. Well, greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Iris Cooper, fondly known as Dr. I, and I am thrilled to be here today as your moderator for the Franklin County Reentry Week Entrepreneurship Session. And I am surrounded by some very, very important, significant people here in the Central Ohio community who believe in and support entrepreneurship, as I do. I've spent most of my career in entrepreneurship, and I guess my two facts that would prove that would be I'm one of the founders of Glory Foods back when my hair was dark and I was thin, and young. And then one of the jobs that I enjoyed most was being the director of entrepreneurship and small business for the state of Ohio during the recession. And that was the good, the bad, and the ugly of small business experiences. But in spite of all of the forces that were against us, we rose to the best place for small businesses in the nation, in the Midwest, in 4 years, and the 9th best throughout the nation, because we have support systems and resources that were working for small businesses, even though we didn't have any money. But I'm very proud of that fact, and I'm glad to be a part of this operation. So today we're going to do some entrepreneurs who have overcome significant challenges to become successful and optimistic. And we have some very experienced service providers that have come together to produce this session, including my colleague and friend and sister in the Coalition of 100 Black Women, Jill Frost, from the Central Ohio African American Chamber of Commerce. We have I can't say my little buddy, but I knew Kim when she was a little girl. Let's just say that. Kim Knight is my little sister in entrepreneurship, and she's with the Columbus Empowerment Center as the director. And the Columbus Urban League is my sister's daughter, J. Avery Frost, who's grown up and has her own responsibilities now with the Columbus Urban League. And then Tanya Wilson, another one of my little daughters in entrepreneurship at the Small Business Development Center. So I'm here at a family reunion, kind of. And I knew Cornell went through the Doubletree, so I'm sure I probably know you too. Is it Thel? Probably run into you somewhere too. But at any rate, I'm happy to be here. We are going to record this session on Facebook and Instagram, and we have a person that's going to monitor the chat room to see what questions you have. If we have time at the end of the session, we'll try to answer some of those questions. So without any further ado, let me introduce our guests. We have Marvetta Fro Shelton from a company called Breaking Barriers. We have Thel Robinson from Halt Violence. And we have Carnell Willoughby from Willoughby's Soul Veg. I bet you that's for vegetarian, I bet. Any rate, and then we have Colbert Painting, Kamala Colbert. So we have 4 entrepreneurs to talk to today to learn about their journey, to learn what they've overcome and what their plans are for the future. And the whole purpose is to inspire anyone who has a background issue that they need to overcome. We want to inspire you to move forward because it's possible, it's doable. And as you can see, there's a support system here for you. So let's start with Marvetta. How are you today, Marvetta?
I am well, thank you.
Good, I like your hairdo.
Thank you very much. It's very easy.
I see, okay, yeah, those naturals are easy. Tell us a little bit about your journey to this point, Marvetta. What have you overcome to get to the point of starting your business? Can you hear me?
I started my business. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's kind of fading
Can
in and out,
everyone
but
hear
okay.
me?
Yes.
Okay, I thank you for the opportunity. I started my journey working for and building stellar organizations through my expert knowledge and passion with service, serving those who have similar experiences to myself, who are coming out of incarceration and re-entering the community. I had a burning desire and I was compelled to work with that population. Absolutely purposeful, but boy, what I had to go through to get here. And I just am a any means necessary type of individual. I will work 3 jobs. I will build my business with 2 other companies, whatever it takes to build, expand, sustain, grow, and to serve and to extend the reach of services to as many individuals who are in need as possible. So I started out working as a vocational trainer post-incarceration, which was working with the reentry population, and that was love. Excuse me, I mean, it felt right. It felt like it was natural. That's what I should be doing. And the relatability is what made it easy. And then what I decided was I needed to add on some skills, credentials, knowledge along the way. I did not think about owning a business at that point. And then I transitioned to operate a women's program, women coming out of incarceration, and did both of them simultaneously. And I also picked up an adjunct instructor's position working in the institutions through Ashland University, all simultaneously. And then I enrolled in grad school, all simultaneously. I don't know how, but I do know how.
And you kept all the balls in the air too. You kept all the balls in the air too.
And I always, absolutely. I always believe that you have to have more than one plan. I'm a heavy planner. I'm a forecaster. I'm driven. And because of that, I have a lot of energy, and I was able to maintain those 3 capacities and complete grad school with a nice GPA. I don't know how, but I learned a lot. My degree is in public administration and justice administration. It aligns perfectly. So at that point, I said, I got to give something up. It's getting to be too much and I'm not getting younger. So I resigned as the vocational instructor. I maintained the operations manager's position, and I started my own business. My business is Breaking Barriers, and we serve individuals who have faced adversity. Our goal is to bridge gaps, but we work on internal barriers with individuals. We want to work on mindset transformation, unhealthy behavioral patterns, resiliency training, life skill development, mentorship, coaching. Those are the things that I find in my own journey. And then in research, the evidence shows that you can hand an individual all resources all day long. But if they have not become healthy and transformed from the inside out, it's very likely that they will return and take that test again, go back through that process. So that's what I love, because I transformed from the inside out. I wanted to work on my internal barriers first, and it built confidence. I started to research. I built a network, and started my own business.
Well, are you a nonprofit or a for-profit?
I am a sole proprietor.
Oh,
And
okay.
in the process of, but we're in the
Now,
process of transferring our business structure to a 501c3.
I was going to say it sounded very much like a nonprofit to me. And that's an amazing story. It really is. And it would be very empowering for young Black girls to hear your story. So I'm impressed. Um,
Thank you.
what resources have you used to start your business, whether they be government or private, and have they been helpful? What's out there in the community that you've used?
Well, I'll share this with you. And this is, Kim, forgive me if I'm out of line. I have my own panel tomorrow, next level capacity building. And this is the premise it's built off of. I actually have had a support network to guide me. Kim Knights is one who started a business. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready for that. However, the Small Business Association, ECDI, I've used those resources, but this is what my mind told me when I first acquired the knowledge. I just need to, start the business, make sure that it was registered with the Secretary of State, the trade name, and then I could propose to larger entities, 501c3s, and I could do the work for them on the front line, and they could just monitor and provide oversight. And that's what I've done for 3 years, and it's been very, very successful. Just feel like right now at this point, a next level needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. How did you handle the pandemic and the economic conditions of the last year?
Well, all of my resiliency training, typically my services have been face-to-face because it's just more captivating and it's more impactful that way, just to feel a person and feel the relatability. However, I took a small business pivoting course during COVID-19 when we were placed at home, and I started to train and train and train, and I had an epiphany. So the epiphany that I had was to research, to work with Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, and to propose a mentorship program. And that's what I did. And so during the pandemic, I've been very fortunate, never missed a beat, continued services. And I also created a virtual classroom, which was scary for me, but I'm a self-trainer, and I knew that if I did not adapt to the new normal, that it would affect my business. So I actually operate in a hybrid model now, virtual and in person.
I think we can all say that we've had Zoom up to our eyebrows. And it's amazing what happens when you actually see somebody that you care about in person. It's like a family reunion when you can actually hug someone, So I do understand. What are you going to do? What's next for you? Give us an idea of where you're going next.
Where I'm going next is I am, again, waiting on approval for the 501c3.
Mm-hmm.
And with this new program I designed, and understanding we don't know when COVID will end and if we'll ever return back to regular operations, I am working on virtual packages that mentorship packages and structures that I'd like to sell or market to women's prisons in other states in a form of preparation to work on thinking patterns, things like that, mindset transformation, responsibility, and then coordinate their release into their reentry coalition physically. So that's really, I want to evolve and grow and expand the reach to as many as possible. So that's really my whole love, my desire. I work with all populations, young, old, men, women. However, my expertise is gender responsive, evidence-based women's services.
I don't teach one business model anymore at Franklin. I teach entrepreneurship at Franklin. I don't teach it like that anymore. I say you have to have a plan A and a plan B,
Right.
and plan B has to be ready to go when plan A gets knocked down by a virus or anything that you had nothing to do with. So I totally agree with you, and I wish you the best as you go forward.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Okay, now we would like to hear from Thel Robinson. Mr. Robinson, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Tell us a little bit about your journey to this point.
This Sunday, May 2nd, it'd be 10 years I've been home from the feds and, completed my probation, wrote 3 books and founded Halt Violence March 3rd, 2014. So I use my life experience to show teens, young adults, even adults, that they don't have to live a lifestyle of violence, and change is possible, but you have to be content at each stage that you in your current life. And so many people want change and materialistic things, the microwave speed, but you have to be patient during the process. So, I could have been 6 feet under, be doing life in prison, but God spared my life to be used for his glory. And so that's what I've been doing, fighting the racism, the politics, and all of that for people that look like me, that got backgrounds like me, that got praying mothers like me, that for mothers that didn't raise their sons in the street, because my mother ain't raised me like that. So when I turned 18 and got under her roof, that's when I began my journey in the street. So my reflection in the direction of the streets has no reflection on my mother. So for her to see me like now in God's glory, that gives her peace. But it's been a journey, and I still fight, you know what I mean? Because our ancestors, they did so much for us, that some people don't even know about because it's not taught in the school or at home. So during my 6 years and 10 months, all I did was read, work out, do Bible studies for the men and prayer, and I got knowledge. And so some of the stuff I've been able to execute, and some are still in the process. But, individuals that are conscious, we realize that we owe. And so it's bigger than me. It's bigger than anything that I can even imagine. So, when I hear the numbers on the news or social media about this young Black man got killed, this female got killed, it's not just a number, it's not just statistics, it's trauma, it's a family, it's people hurting, so, and I've been on that side of hurting people. And so I can't erase the pain that, I've done, but God is using me to bring healing to some families that, I once put that pain in. So, yes.
I'm the oldest person in the room, and I can tell you, this is the worst time I have ever seen in terms of racism and economic disparities and utter disregard for human life, especially if you're Black. And a Black man, and I am appalled at where we are as a society. So I applaud you for what you're doing because it's necessary. It is critical that we turn history around quickly. So what resources have you used to sustain this?
In the beginning, it was the DeVos Urban Initiative Leadership, which was a 15-month program that was founded by Robert DeVos, who has now passed away. He was the owner of Amway and Orlando Magic basketball team. And then Echo and Green, which is in New York. In 2018, I received a 2-year fellowship for $90,000 to work 40 hours a week for 2 years to, scale halt violence. And then that's when we was able to get from out the suite downtown onto Cleveland Avenue and Hudson for 2 years, and to hire people and give them stipends and things of that nature. And then we were able to get a break with the city of Columbus Department of Development, whereas they, paid for the overhead and quarterly ads and stuff like that. And then we got a public welfare foundation grant from DC, so, we've been in the pandemic the whole year in person, like the young lady said previously, because it's that energy and that vibe, you need that, and that's one of the layers why the community is the way it is, because it's so much virtual going on. The only virtual I do is with the board meetings. Everything else, we allow people to come here. We got the social distancing, we got the hand sanitizer, we got the N95 mask, and we just do everything by the book, because we know that importance, because you really can't get that vibe through the Zoom. Not taking away from the Zoom, but that energy and that it's just nothing. It's nothing like that connection. And I know the importance that these individuals need it. Because it's hopeless out there. It's Columbus is so dangerous right now with the murder rate the way it is last year, and that the rate is going this year, it's going to pass it. So like right now, last year we fundraised 196,000 from the previous year, 59,000. So God blessed us in that pandemic last year because of the violence that took place. We had a full staff at one time and we was out here with it. And so now we're about to leverage last year in this year and just really be impactful, because, the winter months was deadly and the spring is, and I don't even want to talk about the summer right now. So, we just, allowing God to continue to lead us into these relationships. And although it's racist, not being biased when I connect with someone that don't look like me, because unfortunately in Columbus, the individuals that's empowered don't look like me. So I don't play that game, because people always say you got to play the game. This is not a game when it comes to Black lives that's out here dying constantly. And so what God has for halt violence, God has for halt violence without selling out and bowing down to the racist system.
So what's going to happen next year? I mean, what are your plans to move your organization forward?
We want to scale it into another city as far as a model, like getting it back into my city in DC and even Baltimore as well, because they really need it bad. Baltimore is just crazy. And my interest in Baltimore is because my daughters live in Baltimore as well as my brother. And then to even get back in DC, where, I started at in the street. So.
Now, are you in Columbus now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
I always go home. I don't like to be bound, because when you bound, you in a box, so just because I'm here, I never forget where I came from. But it's bigger than a city, it's bigger than a state, because it's a United States problem. Every hood in the United States got this violent problem.
Well, I certainly support what you're doing, and I'm sure the panel does. And hopefully someday, maybe I'll be gone, we won't have these kinds of problems. I hope so. But right now, it's pretty dismal. So thank you.
Great work, Thale. Great work, Thale.
God be the glory.
Okay, how about Carnell Willoughby? How are you today?
I'm doing
I'll
well.
never forget your smile. How did you get here? How did you get to this point in your journey?
Yeah. Oh, first, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you. big up to the panelists that told and shared their story. Thank you. I'm originally from Atlantic City, New Jersey. We got to Columbus, Ohio in the early 80s. And my journey to entrepreneurship was going through quite a few things in the work spaces because I have a couple of convictions, one in New Jersey and one here. I can only get but so far, and charm can only get you but so far.
And you got a lot of charm too, because I can tell you talk about your DoubleTree. Okay.
So there was I had an experience at Crown Plaza where a gentleman wanted to promote me as a manager, but because of their policy, I can only get but so far. So what he did was he hired me without taking me through the HR process, just so I can get the experience, just so I can have that on my resume. So when they found out, you know, they wasn't happy. They wanted me to walk away from the position. And because they did things out of sync, they had to keep me there. But moving forward, they changed a few things around, and I ended up having to leave the job in the first place. So from other positions, I encountered the same, you know, those same trials.
Mm-hmm.
Some years ago, my brother had a vision of Willoughby's, and he charged me with that vision. He said, "Hey, I have a concept. You have a gift of cooking, and here's the caveat. You're gonna have to run this on your own." He knows my background in hustling, so he handed it over to me. And more than likely, I mean, of course, with most steps towards entrepreneurship, there's a lot of trepidation. There's a whole lot of fear. And in most cases, you become your biggest barrier. So I had to get past that. I did use some of the skills of hustling to make sure that I moved forward in the business. But more than that, I thought about my value composition and what I was adding to the community in reference to what I would serve and how I would serve them. I'm a longtime vegan. At the time we were in Columbus, Ohio, there was very few vegan places that served. There was very few vegan places at all, but there's very few commercial places or mom and pop stores that have vegan options. And I thought to move forward in that. And that has been a long journey. In fact, I thought about quitting a whole bunch of times. I was offered a few positions at a couple of places of $40,000 or more. But I thought about Willoughby's being an undeveloped baby. And I also thought about some of the people that I've already served who had grown accustomed to me serving them.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point I was straddling, you know, working for other people, but still trying to develop Willoughby's. And I thought to, you know, abandon the whole idea of working for someone else and lean in. And whatever that took, I was willing to kind of put that energy forward to make it happen.
Is it open now?
It most certainly is. I did pop up in
Well,
catering.
how come I don't know about it? How come I don't know about it? I'm supposed to know about all the food places.
So we're now in North Market. We had a soft opening Sunday, and it was very soft. We did not announce anything because we didn't want to get bum rushed. And I have a few new staff members, and I wanted to make sure that they were acclimated to our style of service, and also for the in reference to the food. So our grand opening is tomorrow. So we open up at 11 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm coming over there too with my fork and my knife and my spoon.
I don't see why you shouldn't. So, and that was a long time coming. I I didn't do a whole lot in infrastructure. I focused more on the concept of food and service, and not holistically maintenance in your entrepreneurship or your business will bite you in the behind. So I'm scrambling to make sure that standard operating procedures are in place, all the contracts and so forth, and onboarding's in place, training, which I had to get acclimated to. All of this has been a huge education, and it's been humbling. And I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change how I started. I wouldn't change my background and how I got to this point. Because I have a community of people that hold me accountable, and I carry them with me, and they've supported me the whole way. The Frost family has supported me. Tanya Wilson has supported me. Kim Knight has supported me. ECDI has supported me. There's quite a few. Columbus State has supported me. OSU. The list can go on and on and on. And I want to continue to serve them at my highest capacity. So yeah, I had some really great partnerships to make sure that happened. I had a bunch of people around me that was much smarter than I am. I had to lower myself to make sure that I'm asking the right questions, receiving the right information, and making those wise decisions based on my experiences and based on the guidance that I had around me.
Well, you got a village, and people that knew you, they were like, what happened to him? Where is he? Now I'm going to tell everybody what's at the state. I'm telling everybody. So congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you.
I will be there tomorrow. I'm not a vegan, but I'll try it. I'll try anything once. But anyway, I just wish you the best. And I will see you tomorrow then. Okay. Miss Colbert, how are you today? We can't hear you. You're on mute, ma'am. Can you take it off mute? Uh-oh. I need some technical help here. She's on mute, so I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Oh, there she
hear me
goes.
now?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I had a time getting on here, but I'm here.
So how are you today? Looks like you're
I'm
having
great.
fun.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Are you outside?
Oh, you said Florida? No, I'm in Georgia. I'm doing a job down here in Georgia.
No, but you're outside.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it looks wonderful. Okay, well,
Yes.
good. Okay, well, tell us what's your journey like? How did you get to this point?
Well, it was a long journey as well. And I just want to say thank you also to the other people that's on the panel speaking and sharing their story. My story started in 98. I went to prison for 6 years for drugs, selling drugs along with family members. I was really one of the youngest ones and was really kind of influenced by them. And I just kind of went with it or what have you. Went to prison, did 6 years, came home to Columbus because I'm originally from Akron, Ohio. And I didn't want to go back there because I wanted to give myself a chance to better myself, because everything in Akron was still the same. Nobody was doing anything. A lot of my family back and forth in the penitentiary, mostly my mother, would kind of got me off on the crazy path because she wasn't there. However, I had a grandmother to take care of me. But once I got to Columbus, I too was looking for jobs, wasn't really getting any jobs due to my background. So then I was working little odd jobs, and a friend of mine had redid this house and she hadn't had no formal training. And when I seen the house, I was so impressed, and had just kind of broke up with my kid's father. So I needed some extra money. So really I started painting just on just extra money, just something to do on the side to make money for myself. And then once the job that I was at let me go because they too found out about my background or what have you, I didn't share it. And I had been with them for like 7 years. And then when they found and then what's so funny is because that year, January, I had got employee of the year or however long, gave me my accolades. And then like 2 months later, they was like, oh yeah, we did, we redoing everything. We found out that you have a background, whatever. They had to let me go. I'm like, wow. And I was just employee of the month or the year, like 2 months later. So like I said, so I was already just painting a little bit. And then the guys, the crews that I was on, they was basically used to a lot of drug users and alcoholics and different ones and stuff like that was on our crews. So I guess they looked at me like that as well. So I had to chase people all around for my money. If you remember the CNS, it's tore down now, but way back then I had to find a guy in there about my money. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead on and start my own thing. Well, I bumped into Terrell Mock, and when I tell you, he got me together the same day. He was like, well, what is your company name? I was like, I don't really have one. I'm just out here painting. He like, no, I'm going to get you together. I got my business name. He said, well, what name you want? What think a name of your company? I said, well, shoot, my last name sounds just as good as anybody else's. So I went with Cobra Painting. And really the rest has been history. Once I linked up with him, registered my business and really just started moving forward. A year later, I started in 2006. And in 2007, I got a big contract with the Columbus School Board. I painted Barrett Middle School for South due to Terrell telling me to go to the meeting. And from there, it's just been really up from there or whatever. And I'm still in construction since 2006 to the present day. I've worked with OSU Children's Hospital since 2007. They really have embraced me. I got a big job down here in Georgia, Roto-Rooters headquarters, because I did a lot of work for core resources. I did quite a few Family Dollars in Columbus. I got a chance to work up at Easton, which I always wanted to work up there. I painted V-Line, which is a new bar up there, and Restoration Hardware. I worked up there as well. And just last week, I had took my mom all around showing her some things that I was doing because I'm building up my website. And when I tell you, she was crying the whole way through. She was like, I knew that you can paint. But my goodness, I didn't know you was up in here doing all this in front of, with the other folks, and you a Black woman and you up in here with the others doing your thing like this. I was like, yeah, Mom, this is what I'm doing. So I'm proud and I'm happy for myself. And I just want to just really encourage, any other ones that's coming out of prison or coming out of whatever they coming out of, that you can really do it. I know it's a word that people say all the time, but seriously, but you got to put in the work. It's going to be a hard heel and a fight to battle, but you can do it. And me personally, if you have an entrepreneur spirit, that's really the best way to go. Because really working for someone, it's just not, it's not good for me. I enjoy working for myself, even though you still kind of work with someone when you get a project for them or what have you. But I just really love what I do. And I enjoy training people coming out of prison. Another good idea I was thinking, I just want to just throw out there real quick. Some of these abandoned houses that's sitting around, it's been my vision for years. I haven't talked to Kim about it so many years ago, about maybe doing some training on some of the houses just sitting around, just a land bank to the city, and we can use those houses to train the individuals and give them the skill that they need, because construction, I look at it as, instead of giving a man a fish sandwich, you
Mhm.
teaching him how to fish, and he can feed himself for a lifetime.
Mhm.
If you interested in construction, that would be a good program for the city and for the residents that's trying to move into the city. So just that, and got my little company shirts, and I just feel good. I'm just really progressing.
Well, do you do construction and painting?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a
Just-
carpenter. I'm a carpenter and a painter. Like I myself can hang doors, cabinets, counters, towels, stuff like that. And everything that I've been taught, I taught myself. Because when I tell you, when I started this business or started painting, I didn't know anything. I'm talking about nothing. But I had faith within myself and high perception level. And when you tell me something once, I get it. That's just that I just get it. And I know how guys is. So this is how I would learn. I would say, well, I know how I would put that cabinet up or reset the bathroom, but tell me how you do it so I can see if I'm doing it right. And you know how guys, well, you do it like this and you do it like that, and then you bop, bop, bop. And I said, you know what? I do it like that too. So we do about the same. And then that's how I learned. I learned it just like that. And I just, yeah. So
That's an amazing story, because
yes, ma'am.
typically women have a hard time trying to break into construction and and all that. Do you do residential too?
I do residential and commercial. I started off in residential on the east side of Columbus, doing all those older houses. And I started in working with Children's Hospital when they started doing their renovations probably about 5-6 years ago. And how I got that is because I never look straight when I'm driving. I'm always looking left and right. I seen this white guy with these papers in his hand going in this house where I had noticed that the house had been empty. So I figured he either owned it or he was doing something about it. So I swooped around, pulled up, talked to him. He was like, oh yeah. And as a matter of fact, we're looking for people to get going in these houses and stuff. And I got in like that with Children's Hospital or what have you. And I've taught my kids, my two sons started when they was 11 and 13, and now they're 16 and 18. And when I tell you they can spray and cut and roll like anybody else, yeah, and I don't give them no slack. I'm harder on them than I am on anybody else. And I let them know when y'all graduate, even though y'all saying that you want to work for the business, no, you still going to go to college for either business management, construction management, engineer, estimating something, because I need some stronger ones to help bring the business up. I don't need painters. I got enough of them. You guys not going to paint your whole life. I need you to come into the business of this Cobra's painting.
That is such an inspirational story. I think that you have made so many points about successful living that this conversation was more than just about you painting. And I'm proud of you. And I am just now knowing you.
Yeah,
Because I
thank
can
you.
paint nothing. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So
Yeah.
what's next for you? You say you're going to get your kids in the business. What else are you going to put into your repertoire?
I'm looking into investments, starting to get off into investment properties and stuff like that. I've done so many houses for everybody else. I'm ready to start, get my own portfolio and start building into residential flipping, renting. So, and one other strong reason why I want to have houses to rent, because for that woman, for that mother that's coming with them kids crying and pleading the blood of Jesus that she gonna pay her rent, just give me a chance, because that was me. Every time I have to move, it's like I almost feel like I'm about to die. I had a fire January, and then I knew that I was going to have to move. I ended up staying in a hotel for 4 months until someone gave me an opportunity to live in their house because I have a background, you know, so I want to be able to be there for that woman coming saying, you know, that's my past, that's over with, I'm not going to do it. I just need somewhere to live with me and my children, you know. And then another thing that I'm thinking of is the trucking industry. I already have a couple pickup trucks, so I've been doing some little moving around packages and whatnot, but I want to kind of build it up and really start a trucking company too. Is everything that I do is for the ex-felon that can come in and work for me.
Mhm.
Trucking, construction, on that.
What resources did you utilize to stabilize your business? Any government sources or programs?
Yeah, well, the city helped a lot. Kim Knight helped a lot. Rhonda Barbara, Demita Brown, all the girls down at the city. You know, I've been around all of them, got my certifications, MBE certified, Ed certified through all those ladies, Tia and them. So yeah, they definitely have been supportive.
Good for you. Good for you.
They've definitely been
I'm
supportive.
sure. Well, you are inspiring a lot of women right now, because there's women that are struggling after maybe losing their jobs or their business has gone under for whatever reason from the pandemic. And so you're a role model now.
Thank you.
So I wish you the best and congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure meeting you as well.
All right. We'll see each other somewhere.
Okay. Yes.
Do any of the service providers have any questions or comments for the entrepreneurs we have here today? Or should we go to the chat room, or what do you think? No questions for Kim? I know you got some questions.
I just want each of us to introduce ourselves, just to let the viewers know that we're around. I think a couple of things that I heard that are so prevalent are really just taking your skill set, identifying whatever your skill sets are and looking at what you really love to do and figuring out how you can translate that or transform that or transition that into a successful business. Oftentimes, most of you were doing some sort of successful business. It just was not the right type of business. So really just taking those skill sets and identifying what you can do to really be successful. And then the hustle. The hustle is just a natural drive. I think for those of you who really have a drive and a desire to start a business, you know, really tap into that hustle and let it push you forward, and tap into all the resources that you're going to hear about. With the Columbus Empowerment Corporation, we provide just basic business development services. We sit with you, we talk about what you desire to do and how help you develop a plan of action to move forward. Tap into the resources. There are so many free resources here in Columbus. I think I heard Carnell say that, you know, he wished there were some things that he had done previously. That is the story of so many businesses. Iris, all of us could tell you so many stories about people who have been in business for 5-10 years before they realize there are things that they should have done in the beginning. So tap into the services. You'll find that we all work together. Oftentimes you may meet with me and then I'll refer you over to the Urban League with Avery, and then she's going to refer you over to the Chamber, the SBDC. It doesn't matter where you start. Just start somewhere and tap into the services that are provided for you. I'll put my information in the chat. I see Avery did, and if the other providers can put your information in the chat as well, that would be great.
Yeah, I would like to piggyback on what Kim just said. Please lean into the network. So I put my information in the chat. The program that I run here at the Urban League, we provide free business coaching, as do some of the other folks on this panel. And so we're here to answer your questions. Doesn't matter what question it is. There is no question too big or too small. If I don't know the answer, I will make sure that I refer you to somebody who probably knows better than me. But please don't be afraid to reach out. And also, hustle, unfortunately, has this negative connotation that's put on it by other people. But we know that that's not necessary. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. All entrepreneurs have to have this innate hustle mentality, because you paying to get your food. You're working for your food. You are paying for yourself. You have to, what is it you say? I think she says, she eats what she kills. My mother.
Kill what you eat.
Yeah. So if you got to be out there doing it. So don't be afraid of the hustle, and also don't be afraid of the rules, right? We're here to help you with the compliance part. And I tell people all the time, well, it's not bad that you're doing it that way, but we could probably do better. And then go down that road to course correct. But don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to reach out, and definitely don't let the rules, because the business regulations are overly complicated half the time anyways. And so we're here to help you with that. So please reach out.
Great. How
So
about you, Jill?
All right. So my name is Jill Frost, and I am with the Central Ohio African American Chamber of Commerce. And we are a business advocacy organization. Our focus, our heart, our everything is Black business. We are the only organization in Columbus that advocates exclusively for Black-owned businesses. We don't do the kinds of services that other providers on the call do, but we can connect you, and we can bring you into this collective, right? This collective of Black-owned businesses, and there is value in the collective. And we can link you. We work really well. We play really well in the sandbox with others, and we can connect you across the board. And just like Avery said, and Kim said, what I heard today, once Sister Kamala got done, we could have logged off. We could have just gone home, right? There is an it that entrepreneurs have. And part of it is because they love it. You cannot spend 10 to 14 hours a day doing something that you hate. You can't. You might as well be working for somebody else. If it is yours, if you love it, that's a great place to start. If it's something you're good at, that's a great place to start. And I'm a firm believer in no wasted experiences. None. So everything that you bring to this moment has value, and you will use it, you can use it, and don't get buried in shame. Don't get buried in, as Avery said, the rules. There are ways to course correct, but there's some stuff there's some stuff that just we know, right? Some gut knowledge. Bring that to your business, bring that to what you're doing, and then go to folks like Kim and Avery and Tanya and say, okay, here it is, get me together. As Sister Kamala talked about going to the city, get me together. And they will do that. They will absolutely do that. We welcome you into the chamber. We do events and training opportunities. We're doing a thing on Thursday with Kim and her organization, putting credit lenders or banking folks in front of our members and our stakeholders, because what we found out during the pandemic, and we knew it, but what we found out during the pandemic was you need a relationship with bankers. You need it. And there are businesses, as Kim said, that have been around for 5-7 years who realized in 2020, I need to be able to pick up the phone and call my banker. It really has to be more than just about me putting money in the bank. It really needs to be about that. My banker needs to know who I am. He needs to know, or she needs to know, what kind of business I'm in, so that when money comes along, maybe I'm one of those folks that get the call. And nobody talks about it, but we know that there were some calls made, right? There is this money. Joe, Barbara, Sarah, come on in and apply for this money. Now, did Jill get the call? No, maybe not. But if we know our bankers, if we have relationships, we think that it really can help. So we have a list, a mailing list. Not all of our people on our mailing list are members. Join our mailing list on our website, and we'll keep you up to date on the trainings and the conversations that we hold, because we really want you to be a part of it. To every entrepreneur on this call, I'm just in love with all of you. I mean, your stories are so amazing. And I feel inspired, and I feel like a slug. I feel like I'm not working hard enough, but it is a pleasure to be on the call. And I'll see you tomorrow at 11 too, Carnell.
Tanya, how about you? You're on your mute. Unmute. There you go.
How's that? Okay.
That's better.
Yeah, so I'm Tanya Wilson. I'm with the Ohio Small Business Development Center, and we're located at Columbus State Community College. And so for anyone who isn't familiar with the organization, we are a national organization. We have about 25 centers here in Ohio, about 1,000 across the U.S. And we are funded by the SBA, partially funded by the SBA, our hosts such as Columbus State, where I am, and other cities and like the city of Columbus and other partners. And what that does is that provides our assistance to you free of charge. And so we provide one-on-one advising. Just like everyone has said here, we provide, no question is too small. We will work with you at any stage of the business, whether it is, I have an idea and I don't know, what to do with this idea, or I've been in business 20 years and now I need to do something different. I need to engage in new market, or I need to sell, is always free of charge, and there's no limit to it. We also provide training. Do like one-on group, and so we do a loan packaging, startup, being able to validate the business, and different things like that. Really, it just augments the one-on-one training. It's still taught by all the certified business advisors, such as myself, and it just gets a lot of information to you in a very quick manner, and then that way we can reserve our one-on-one hours for actually moving forward and executing the business and taking action steps in the business. And so we also are the hub for Kiva Columbus. And so Kiva is a funding opportunity that is focused on character, not credit score. And so where it is an alternative funding source up to $15,000 that is available for people who don't qualify for the traditional funding. So it works kind of like a crowdfunding social lending process, and so that is an opportunity, along with a lot of hard work and bootstrapping and blood, sweat, and tears. That funding source could be a very viable opportunity to use for people who need it.
Well, thank you, Tanya. And I would also like to add that all of these sources are confidential sources. You don't have to worry about any of these advisors, as they say, putting your business in the street. That is not going to happen. This is confidential support, and they're going to tell you the truth. Sometimes the truth can kind of pinch you a little bit. That ego that some entrepreneurs have, that I know everything about everything. Well, you're going to have to put that in a drawer when you come to these people, because they know the business, they know the rules, and they know what works and what doesn't work. So how do we transition to the chat room? Should I just open it up and we have time to chat? Okay, let us see here. Okay, hi, Benita. We do.
Just FYI, there aren't that many questions on Facebook. It's mostly just praise.
Okay.
People saying, wow, that's amazing. But if I do see a question, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
And Iris, we didn't hear about the resiliency initiative yet, Avery's program. Did we?
Yes, please tell us.
I just did a very, very, very high level. So our program, we do that free business coaching that I mentioned. And we also have workshop Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, we are offering free workshops either at 12:15 or 6:15 So for instance, this Wednesday is at 12:15, Strive to Thrive. I'll be presenting about high-level financial literacy, but really talking about positioning your business for financial success. And so we always talk about, like we talk about credit, usually too late. And so let's have a conversation a little ahead of that. And so people can start building business credit. That is one of the spaces that we're really behind. And just because there's not a lot of information. And so we'll be presenting that this Wednesday. And really our services kind of are very much customized, even though it kind of fits into specific buckets. No entrepreneur who walks into our program has the same exact experience as another. And because there are no identical businesses. And so we do have 4 business coaches here in my program. We're also co-located with the Minority Business Assistance Center, which is a program very similar to Tanya's program. It is just specifically focused at the minority business owner population. And so collectively, we have about 7 coaches and we who are available to talk to you, to walk through business planning, think about certification, thinking about pre-planning for financing, and then also walking through the application process. This over the last year, first of all, my program is just a year and 5 days old. Woo. But over the last year, we've done a lot of work with the Paycheck Protection Program. So if there's anybody who's interested in that, thankfully, some of the challenges with the SBA have been resolved, both on the process, but also on qualifications. So it has expanded a little bit. And so we're able to help you see if you're eligible, get your documents together, get you connected to a bank, and get your application submitted. And so we are really just our president calls us economic first responders. So it can look different every single day, but we're here if there's a crisis. We're here to help. We also, as part of the Urban League, we have wraparound services. And so we have a housing office talking about first-time home buyer, but also eviction prevention. We have a workforce office talking about training. We have youth, like we're about to start up another year of our youth empowerment, the summer work program. And so really, we're looking at the whole household, the business, but also the business owner and family. And however we can connect them to resources, that's what we're working to do here in my program.
Well, thank you, Avery. I'm impressed too. I'm going to put a plug in for my new venture because I'm not making any money. I have a radio show, and it is a not-for-profit called The Window with my colleague, Dr. Joanna Williamson. And we're looking through the window at the world that we're living in, and we're coming up with observations and criticisms and opportunities. And we bring people, primarily Black people, with insight and advice and experience to help us understand this world we're living in. And we talk about some tough topics. We talk about guns. We talk about the police. We talk about entrepreneurship and business and government. These are very unusual times. So if you don't have anything to do at noon on Saturdays, tune to 1580thepraise.com. It is an internet show. It is not on your car radio. It won't happen there. It's on your computer. It's an hour long, and we're going to open a lot of doors and examine some topics that on the surface seem simple, but once you get inside and you start looking under the couch and under the carpet, and you'll find it's simple. And there's some stuff going on that we need to know about. So please join us on Saturdays at noon. Anything else?
I would
While
like
we're waiting
to,
on some additional questions, I'd like to just give a little bit more information. And one of the things that Kamala mentioned too reminded me that we actually have a group called Central City Developers Group. And it's a group of actual developers, real estate developers here in Columbus, whether that's real estate for investing to hold as rentals or to flip. It is virtual right now. We were face-to-face up until we weren't. So it's virtual right now. You can, I placed my information in the chat. You can email me. I'll add you to our email list. Our last session was kind of like a one-on-one, not that HGTV sterile one-on-one, but a real live local person one-on-one on real estate developing and flipping. And next month, she will do a presentation on developing from land. She did it on just taking a house and renovating it and flipping it, but next month she'll do it on purchasing land and building up. And again, our services as well are, I think, if nothing else in 2020, I think, which was a great thing, we all looked at pulling out of that model and just sticking with that model. I think we've always had to modify it. I know we did, you know, working with small businesses, but really pulling out of that model and looking at what the individual specific need is, and sitting down with you one-on-one. Our focus, not exclusively, but our focus is on that pre and post loan, or in this age, grant technical assistance. So as well, we can assist with the PPP. There are actually some loan programs out there as well that are actually zero interest right now. We can assist with that. And again, I think you'll find that all of our services are similar. There are a couple that are the same, but generally each of us have a different flow in a different direction. And again, we're constantly working together, meeting with our agency, referring to another agency, and you'll kind of find, I hate to keep using this overused word, but the business ecosystem. So the system of all of these various agencies and service providers that are out there. I cannot stress enough to really just tap into, call one of us so that you can connect and get in connection with the rest of us. That's it for now.
Any other announcements?
I would like to, this is Marvetta with Breaking Barriers. I would like to plug Columbus Urban League for the last 3 years of a strong partnership, allowing Breaking Barriers to, as the subject matter expert, to provide reentry services, evaluation, look at disparities and opportunities to bridge the gaps and improve services to the reentry population.
Well, thank you. I'm sure that they appreciate your support and your endorsement.
What I was going
Anyone
to
else?
add, Dr. I was going to call you Sister Iris, Dr. Iris, is that one of the things, and everybody's kind of alluded to it, but I cannot stress this enough. There are free resources for you if you are starting a business. If Tanya doesn't have it, she will know where to send you to get it for free. If Kim doesn't have it, she will know where to send you to get it for free. If Avery at the Urban League doesn't have it, she will know where to send you to get it for free. We get so excited sometimes about our business idea that we might lock arms with resources that are, that are fee-based before we exhaust the free ones. And in these times, I just try to exhaust everything free that is out there. There will come a time when you may have to pay for a resource or for some kind of assistance. And, I like your CPA or your accountant. Once you get up and rolling, you want to pay your money guy. You just do. You don't want cousin so-and-so doing your books for you, unless cousin so-and-so is a CPA. But as you begin, there are just so many in Columbus. I mean, I'm sure that other cities are like this, but I know what's happening in Columbus and in the state. There are so many free resources and so many folks who are qualified. And the biggest qualification they have in these times is the desire to help your business grow and to help your business get started. So just try to exhaust everything free that is out there before you start paying for startup services.
I got to say this
tag
too.
on.
Oh, go ahead.
If I can tag on to what Jill said, 100%. In addition to that, even if you're not just starting, you've been in business for 2+ however many years, even if you have been running a successful business, there are still services through all of the agencies that are free services that can be provided for you. I can't tell you, I know that Avery can testify to this, and probably Tanya as well, how many very mature businesses we have assisted in obtaining a PPP or a grant or something. So for those of you who are already in business, as well as those starting, please, as Jill said, reach out to the service providers of free services. They're not free, actually. They were paid for through your taxes. So take advantage of them.
Service providers, if you haven't put your information in the chat room, please do. From a marketing perspective, don't think you can run your business without having a basic understanding of the internet. I have so many people come to me and say, well, you know, I don't use that internet. I don't know how to find, I don't have a website. You are hurting yourself when you take that position. Everything is tied to the internet now. So if you think you can start a business and send people letters with postage stamps and pay for advertising out of pocket, you can forget it. And I'm very blunt like that. I'm just going to say you can forget it. It's not going to happen. So you're going to have to open up your mind to learn new things and to jump into the race. And it's an internet race right now. It's an electronics race. So that's my 2 cents. Anyone else?
I was gonna say, Dr. Iris, if I can jump in on there. I just want to piggyback on that. I mean, I do a lot of course, in the marketing realm, it's my primary background. And the thing what I notice is that when someone has a business and they are not being successful, if we know that they have a product or service that is needed in the market and there's a customer for that, the reason that they're not being successful, what I discover more and more is that there's no plan in place, right? We have to be intentional in what we're actually doing. And so like we have to set a goal and then intentionally try to move our efforts towards actually meeting that goal, right? So and so what happens is that typically if a business has had a random success, you know, they have a couple customers here and then they go a couple weeks and they're not getting customers, it's because they're not doing intentional marketing, right? And so, and basically the success is happening if they really notice, whenever they do something marketing. So if you do a post here, you know, then it's seen, then you'll get some attention. But then if you go another month and you're not doing any social media posting, like Dr. Iris is saying, you're not utilizing your website, then you're not going to get that success. So that's what I see time and time again. I just cannot stress the importance of actually getting out of our head what's on our head and getting it on paper and actually creating a plan to do that. It will completely change everything once you see that in writing and you have a plan to consistently move forward. So definitely really focus on that, but be intentional, set a goal, and then work towards achieving that goal. So that's one of the most important things that you can do.
That's excellent advice, Tanya. And I was going to say that in addition to the plan, you need an accountability partner. And it shouldn't be somebody that you can control. It should be someone that'll tell you the truth, that's available to you and has an understanding of what you're doing. And that's sometimes we don't want to hear the truth, but we need an accountability partner.
Right. And that's one of the things that you can look at all of us for, right? Because like Dr. I was saying earlier, and you know, and Kim was also saying is that, you know, this even though it's free, it is paid by tax dollars, right? And as anyone who's looking for a grant, you know, grants and things like that are programmatic. So we're programmatic as well. And so, you know, our funding resources are looking to us and they're asking us, hey, you know, what have you done? How have you helped small businesses in your area? And we have to show that. We have to show that we help businesses get started. We have to show that we helped our business owners achieve funding, you know, or increase their sales. And so if you're not successful, we're not successful. So when we are providing advice, it is genuinely because this is what we truly believe is going to help move you forward, and it's going to help your business be successful. Because again, if you're not successful, we're not successful. I can't say I helped start a business, you know, if I don't actually help get your business started, right? And so that's what I'm being held to. And so when we are doing this, it is generally from what can we do to help you be successful?
Anyone else? Well, I certainly hope you all take advantage of these resources. These people have integrity, they have experience, and they have will. I know all of them. And I know that they want to help you for no other reason than they want you to be a success. So unless there's something else that I can do, I just want to wish you all, and hopefully you will be out there and you'll have a wonderful experience this year with sales and income and adding people, because we need you. We need you in this economy because we all have a vested interest in Central Ohio. So, anybody else? Otherwise, I'm going to let you go to lunch.
So before everyone goes, I would just like to share the flyer that was made up for the Reentry Week. It has a directory of the entrepreneurs who were spotlighting, returning citizens who are entrepreneurs, and some promo that a lot of them are hosting. And at the bottom, there's a business development services. So people in here who can assist you with your businesses. If you would like to find this, you can go to the Central Ohio Restored Citizens Collaborative website, and it's under resources. And it's also on the Central Ohio reentryweek.com website. So okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Enjoy your day. And I hope that you have this to be helpful to your business. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right,
Very
thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.